Hi, hello, it's Sophie here from the Artist Marketing Academy, coming to you today from my studio, which doesn't have any finished completed paintings in it because they're all hanging in the gallery. But what they do have, and what you can't see slightly off shot here, is of a huge pile of blank canvases, including, and very, very excited by, some really tall, long, thin ones. So watch this space on my other page, Sophie Mahir Art, to find out what I'm going to do on those. But today I'm here very much with my coach hat on. So I am Sophie Mahir and I help artists to set up and grow a profitable business so that you can spend every day doing what you love and create that perfect lifestyle. That's what I've done, and that's what I love helping other artists to do too. Now at the moment I'm actually putting together a 12-part video series, a bit like a Netflix mini-series, and this is all based around creating your artist business plan. So today we're actually on video 3 of 12. So if you're watching this and you haven't watched video 1 and you haven't watched video 2, then I suggest that maybe once you've watched this, you go back and to the beginning and you watch the first 2. So what have we covered already? In video 1, we covered why should you have a business plan at all? As an artist, surely you want to be just doing this, right? You want to be working on that canvas behind, you want to be taking the plastic wrappers off these ones here, and actually you don't want to be sitting down at the laptop creating a business plan. Now in that video, I talk exactly why you must have a business plan if you want to build a sustainable art practice and art business doing what you love. In video number 2, I talked about why your vision, mission, and purpose is so very important as an artist. I talked about what the vision was, how does that work, how should you write it in your business plan. We covered about what exactly is a mission and how do you write that in your business plan. And then last but not least, we talked a bit about purpose. What is the reason behind why you're doing all of this? So if you haven't caught those videos already, I say there's actually a couple of places there. They're out on YouTube with their own playlist, and they're also right here on my Facebook page with their own little mini playlist as well. Louise says hi. Hello, Louise. Welcome to the video. Welcome to video number 3. Oh, you've come in at the really, really sexy part, because today I am talking all about research. Okay, what research should you be doing in order to actually zhuzh up, that's a technical word, zhuzh, in order to complete and give your artist business plan that all-important meat part? Because how often do we go around the outside and we do all the nice parts? We go, I know, I'll just write down what pictures I've got, what products I've got. I'll write down that I'm going to do some marketing and I'm going to do some social media, and maybe if you're brave enough, you step out and write down how much money you're going to make. But this part, I can tell you, this part is the bit that most of you are going to miss, unless you are that detailed person watching this going, give me all that stuff, give me the detailed stuff to write, Sophie, and I'm going to get on with it. The very first time I was given a business plan document, I looked at it, and quite honestly, I looked at it and I flicked through it and I put it off to the side, and it gathered dust behind there. I mean, it wasn't here, it was back in the UK. And I went, oh, thank you very much. And I saw things like Swot analysis that I'm going to talk about briefly today. And I went, what is that? And it said, what is your USP? And I went, what is that? So I went back to my beautiful studio in cold, lovely Sussex, and I went like that to it, and I carried on doing what I was doing, much to my detriment, because it came back to smack me in the face. As you'll see, if you've listened to video 1, you'll know what happens when you throw that business plan back behind you. However, it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. Oh my God, my daughter's on this video. Hello, Vicky from the UK. She says, I love a good swat. Now, do you mean fly swatter? I love a good swat down in the kitchen too. But, okay, so we're talking about the detail. We're going to cover, I'm going to share with you 8 things that you need to do with your research in your business plan. Okay, so without further ado, let's get down to it. Drum roll. So number 1, demand. You might have a great product, beautiful artwork. Maybe you're a sculptor, a potter, a painter, and you've got this amazing stuff and you're creating it and you're building it. And then you say, I know, I'm going to just launch it to where, you know, all the people that live around me. But what if there isn't the demand? What if, like myself and other good, wonderful people, we're here in beautiful Perth. Perth is not an enormous city. And sometimes I'm trying to read the comments under there. Just note business and competitor analysis. Yeah, okay, thanks, Vic. She's stay in there and keep adding to the comments. So what if you actually get out there and you find that actually there aren't that many people in your area? So you need to look at, supposing you live in a quite small town, you need to find out, well, how many people are in that area and what proportion of those people are financially in a position to buy your work, let alone whether that's what they're interested in. So we look at Perth, we look at the number of people who are in the sort of WA area, then we look at, well, how many of those in a position, how many of them are homeowners or renters, how many of them are likely to buy original art, and how many of those are in that kind of income bracket. And suddenly you come from this number down to this number. Then you have to say, well, what proportion of those might like what I'm offering? Now you might end up with a, I'm not really sure. So the answer to that is you need to do your research. And if your decision is, well, I might need to market outside my immediate environment, I might need to go further abroad. If you're somewhere, if you're listening to this and you're in London, you know what, probably you've got a much higher demand situation, but you'll have more competitors. So if you do something that's a particular style, a particular subject matter, you're maybe going to look at number 2. And number 2 is your competitors. How many are doing exactly what you're doing? And then you have to weigh up. So somewhere like London, where I was sort of before, just below London, a large number of people, but much higher proportion of competitors. And when I started to look at how many people did exactly what I did, well, there was actually quite a lot of them. And then you're sort of weighing up, well, you know, is there actually enough to go round? So I think very often we don't think about things like that. What about number 3 on the list? What is the market that you're serving? So supposing you make something and you say, okay, I'm actually not going to put this in front of homeowners. I'm actually going to go straight to restaurants or business owners. Maybe I'm going to go more down the commercial route. So maybe I'm going to approach hotels or solicitors' offices because they've got big reception areas they might like artwork in. So you've got to say, what is the market that you're focusing on? Now, I know quite a few people who paint pet portraits. So obviously your market is going to be pet owners, right? And there's no point you marketing outside that area because of what you do. You work with people who are pet owners. Hello, Jackie, lovely lady. She's in the hills over the other side. Weaving to you. Lovely to see you on today. So you've really got to think about, well, okay, who is that group of people that I'm serving? Now, by the time you've gone down, well, what's the demand like in my area? Do I need to expand? How many people are doing what I'm doing? And I don't just mean that if you're a potter, you look for other potters, or a painter, you look for other painters. I'm looking for who's actually painting like me. So who's really a direct competitor? Same subject matter, maybe the same sort of semi-abstract style. Now over here, I can say competition's pretty small, but then demand's not that big either, so then you weigh it all up. So then you decide who your market is. My market, I've decided I'm going for homeowners with homes by the river with nice big walls ready for large artwork. So once you've done that, you're now looking at number 4, and number 4 is exactly your niche. What is it that you offer? What is the collection of things that you offer that makes you different, that makes you special? Who is it you work with? Let's go down the pet portrait. Your niche might be that you actually paint horses. And you know what? There's a huge market of horse owners, not just in WA, but worldwide. and you look at that market of people who are horse owners, they spend a lot of money on their horses. Sometimes they love their horses more than they love their own family. So that's probably a good market. It's probably a great niche to be in, especially if you are interested in horses, you have a passion for them, maybe you ride yourself, you have some sort of history. And so your niche might be providing, I say, oil paintings of horses direct to pet owners within a set area. Now you're beginning to see the pattern. If you don't do this stuff, you're punting in the dark. You're just putting your product and service out there, hoping that maybe someday somebody might see it and might buy it. What's the number one thing that artists say to me? Sophie, I hear this, nobody buys art. Wrong. Nobody buys my art. Wrong. There's not enough people who buy art. Wrong. People can't afford it in this market. Wrong. Okay, most of it is you actually haven't just narrowed down your niche, your market, done your research, and you haven't, of course, managed to identify something that we're coming on to a little bit later, exactly who your customer is, and then a strategy to get in front of them. There's people out there, they just don't know you exist, all right? There are horse owners there who have no idea that somebody perhaps out there is actually creating a niche business, creating horse paintings. Alrighty, so we've got to number 4. Number 5 is your unique selling position. What actually makes you stand out from somebody maybe? So let's take my example. So obviously I paint boats, harbour scenes and houses. What makes that me different to somebody else who might sit right next to me, who might paint the same subject matter? They might also paint semi-abstract, abstract, and you might say on the face of it, there's no real difference. But maybe as an art business, I offer some things they don't offer. Maybe I have bigger experience. Maybe I come from a different background. Maybe I have a unique technique in the way that I create my art. Or maybe as a business owner, I have a strategy, for instance, try before you buy, that the person next to me doesn't offer. So my unique selling proposition might be to do with my history, my technique, and maybe the way I've put my business together. I'm a big believer in try before you buy. I wish more other business models did it. So that's number 5. And number 6, so important. We're going back to, again, probably the top 3 questions that I get asked. How do I find out who my ideal customer is? And I've used a lot of acronyms here. USP, Unique Selling Proposition. ICA, Ideal Customer Avatar. And that might sound a little bit technical, or it might even sound a little bit like that movie. What we're really saying is, who is the dream person who's going to buy your product or service? And you've got to work out, if you've never sold before, you've got to work out who they are. Where do they live? What are their lifestyle? How much do they earn? What are their hobbies? What are their fantasies, dreams? What is the problem that you're solving for them? They have a challenge or a problem, or a want or a desire. And your product or service is going to fit into that. So as a 2 or 3D artist, likely the challenge or problem will be, let's imagine you're a young couple, you've just bought your first home, but you don't have anything to go on the walls. And you have a big house, maybe with big blank walls. Your problem is, you've got nothing beautiful to hang on the wall. When people come around to look at your house and you say, this is our house, and they look around and go, that's nice. But actually, wouldn't it better say, hey, this is our new house, and this is a new piece of artwork we just bought, we think looks perfect on that wall. And we can go into the benefits of that. That's for another video later on in the series. All right, okay, so you've got to work out where they are. You've got to work out. So supposing you run workshops. We've got people watching this who run workshops. So if you provide workshops, it's much easier because actually the person who's going to come to your workshops probably really does have a bit of a challenge. They maybe don't know how to do the thing that you're offering. So if you're a watercolor painter or an acrylic painter, oil painter, and your customer is somebody who really wants to learn that, they've got no idea where to start. They don't know about materials, they don't know about techniques. Maybe they've bought a little bit of paint, they've dabbled, and it was a total disaster. That tells me a little short story. I met these 2 lovely girls actually at an art shop locally. And the person in charge of them said to me, hey, they want to get painting. They've done a little bit. what paints would you advise for them? So I asked them a few questions. What do you like? How do you like to work, etc.? And they were a little bit shy. Eventually we got a conversation going. And I said, it sounds like maybe acrylics is going to be a good medium for you to start. And one of them said, I tried it and I hated it. And it's like, well, okay, so the problem is you actually don't know how to use them. So as a workshop provider, you've got to tap into that. And actually, you've got to understand that your customer might have tried something like that, had a bad experience and walked away. It's going to be your job to educate them, and it's going to be your job to teach them. So your ideal customer is probably somebody who's maybe had a go and they're not liking it. They don't understand there's more to it. So you've really got to drill down. Who are they? Where are they? What are they doing at the weekends? Where do they shop? What's their disposable income? What are they into? What are they dreaming? What are they looking at on social media? What are they reading? I could go on and on and on and on. I do have a download actually for Ideal Customer Avatar, and I'll add that all in underneath in the links below. SWOT analysis. My daughter came and went. She loves all this stuff actually, Vicky. She says, I love a little bit of all of that competitor analysis. Now you see, if you're a detailed person, you're going to love this bit. But for most of us who are big picture or visual people, you're going to look at that and go, I'm doing that later. But I'm going to say to you, please, please, please don't shelve it and do it later, because this is vital, vital stuff. So what does this stand for? What is this famous SWOT analysis? So S stands for strengths. Now that's not necessarily your strengths, it's your art business strengths. The W stands for weaknesses. That's your art business weaknesses, not you personally. Although if you are the business, it might well be. Opportunities. The O is for opportunities and T, of course, is for threats. So what we need to do is we need to fill out each one of these, and then when we see the holes, we need to work out how we're going to plug them. Quick example. Strengths might be that you're actually really good at what you're doing and there's actually a large number of people really interested. So let's take the example of workshops. So you're really good at doing your acrylic painting workshops, and a strength is you're good at teaching. A strength is that you've got customers who've already been, maybe love what you're doing. A weakness might be you're not so great at marketing, you're not very brilliant with a computer, you don't really like doing the admin side of things. Opportunity might be you have a specific technique that nobody else offers in your area and you're the only person doing it. A bigger opportunity might be that right now it's trending, this mythical technique, we don't know what it is, quick find it. It's trending on social media, everyone's talking about it and you're the only person teaching it in the area. Massive opportunity for you. A threat might be, we know what happens to trends, they tend to bottom out. And if you build your whole business or workshop on something that's a trend, that could crash and burn in 6 months' time. A threat might be the economic situation can end up taking a massive downturn and people pull back on their sort of luxury spending, they stop buying artwork and they stop going to workshops. So how do we kind of work around that? Well, let's go back to the weaknesses. We have to think, well, okay, if you're not great on the computer or admin, you've either got to learn or you've got to outsource it. The threats might be if you know that what you've picked is just a trend, you've either got to stay ahead and find the next thing and be prepared to be flexible, or you've got to make sure that your business has got some solid, what will always work type of workshops. Not much you can do about the economic situation apart from pay attention. And if you see something happening, you maybe need to plan ahead. So that's kind of how we work around that. That's exciting. You should get excited about this stuff because it doesn't take that long to do once you get into the swing of it. And once you've done it, you can go, oh, actually, it can sometimes help you come up with more ideas for your art business. And last but not least, number 8, your keyword research. Okay, so this is a bit that people go, oh my God, I guess this is really the bottom of the bottom now. We're scraping the bottom, but actually get excited because what is keyword research? Keyword research is when you go to Google, to YouTube, to Pinterest, anything that's a search engine where people look, even Etsy, Amazon, anywhere people put in a word or phrase and they're looking for a result. So we probably start with Google. So imagine that let's pick up with the horse painting because this is kind of quite easy. So supposing you are a homeowner, horse owner, you're redecorating in-house, you've bought a new horse, what you really want is somebody to paint a magnificent portrait of your new acquisition. So what do? You don't maybe too busy to ring around or have a look. Maybe you're too busy to be looking on social media. You go straight to Google, horse portrait painting, wherever you are. Colorado, America. Let's not always have been in Australia. I'm in Australia, but you guys probably aren't. And you put that into Google, and you know what? If that's what you do, that's your niche, that's your specialism, that's what you do all day long, your website needs to come straight up, bang. They're going to contact you and say, could I commission you for that painting? And this is how it works. So let's give an example as a workshop provider. So you've got some magical technique that you do with oil paints, and you think long and hard about that, and you work out what might somebody be putting into Google. Now, they are not going to know about this technique unless it's rising up on social media and it's like, oh, okay, let's put the name of this technique in, plus workshops, plus the area that they're in. And ideally, you'd like to come up there as a result. Now, there's a few things you're going to need to do that, but being prepared, being aware of what people put into Google means that you can, assuming you have a website, you can actually work on the website. You can use that phraseology in your social media. You can create videos like this about that content, and you can be much more aware of what people are looking for, and of course serve up what people are looking for. Because at the end of the day, that is going to help you grow your business. And by just turning a blind eye to this, by just sitting in the studio and taking no notice of anything that's out there, and then coming out and saying, okay, now I need to try and market this. So here's my product, I need to try and sell it and get in front of somebody. You're doing it all the wrong way, and you're missing out on opportunity. And I know this stuff is a challenge. I understand that. I appreciate that. But trust me, it's learnable, because back in the day, when I had no clue about business, I knew nothing. I had to learn from the beginning. You're hearing from someone who's been in this for years, and I'm telling you that if I can do it, you can do it. And I'm here to shortcut that process for you. I don't want you to go through what I went through. I don't want you to go through 10 years of learning and YouTube videos and trial and error. I don't want you to spend thousands and thousands of pounds and dollars on this course and the other course. I want to help you get right to the results and shortcut the process so that you don't have to go through what I went through. And so this little mini video series is just the start of that journey. And so I'm going to keep watching. As I say, if you loved today's video and you haven't seen the number 1 and number 2, go back and watch from the beginning, because although they are totally interchangeable, if you're going to put your business plan together, you need to have watched all 12. They don't necessarily need to be in order, but you could just do what I love doing, Netflixing. Who loves a Netflix binge? When I've done them all and you're watching this and you've got all 12 in a playlist, you know, get your notepad and pen, grab yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee, glass of wine, and a big notepad, and hit play on video number 1 and just go through the whole lot. And then you just need to get into action. And that really is all there is to it. So I'm going to say, if you want to knuckle in on this research, this little section, allocate a day or 2 in your diary where maybe it's too hot, too cold, too wet, too windy, you've got nothing else on, or you just move stuff aside, get it done, and just sit down. And you know what? Why not find somebody else who's in the same position and do it together? It's much easier to do it with somebody else than it is by yourself. It's all lonely stuff when you do it yourself. If you do it with someone else, much better. Get it done. All right, so before I love you and leave you, just want to let you know what's coming up in the next video. Okay, next video is video 4, is all about your business basics. What do you need to have in place in order to call yourself a business and not a hobby? All right, super, super excited. It's a bit of an easy checklist in a way. A few things you need to go through. Make sure you don't miss out the important stuff. So don't forget to put this in your diary. If you're watching live, it's next Tuesday, the 12th of March. Same time, same place, and I'm going to walk you through that stuff. If you're watching the replay, you'll watch it anytime you like. And don't forget to hashtag replay, ask your questions in the comments, because I always go back and read them no matter when you're watching. Listen, thank you so very, very much. It's Sophie Mahir, helping artists get great at building a phenomenal business. I wish that for you. I wish you a fantastic rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye-bye for now.